What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? As usual, hope we're doing well. What's going on, Zachary Vered, the only one in chat right now, the only one who has the balls to say anything. Zachary Vered, how we doing though? Everybody who happens to be here, hope we're doing well. It is Wednesday, so we are doing our usual thing, just chilling on a Wednesday. All right, having a good time. We're having a good time, damn it, whether you like it or not. Yeah, nothing too crazy going on right now. Nothing big on updates. I guess I kind of have an update. So I'm finally getting back into the swing of making patron-only content, whether you're a patron on my Patreon or if you are a member of my YouTube channel, either one of those. I am making content again for them, and it's admittedly low effort, I'm going to be honest with you, but it's meant to be current events content. That way, it's something that I can do on a more regular basis. I can do it on a more regular basis so that I can actually get content to the people who are paying to get extra content. This is stuff that I'm not going to release it to the general public. I actually kind of fucked up by mistake. I did a bit of an oopsie, and one of the videos that I meant to do that was one of the videos that I meant to do for the members on this channel, I accidentally set to public instead of members only, and I'm pretty sure I set it to public by mistake, and then I went to church, and then when I got out of church, I see that there's like 60 views on the video, and I was like, oh, I don't pretty damn sure I don't have 60 people paying for my shit. I probably don't even have 6 right now, at least not on YouTube. But yeah, because of that, I was like, whoops. So I had to switch it to members real quick. But I am doing videos. One of them was about the Epstein files. The other one that I released today was about Lauren Southern and e-girls in general in the political sphere. And that's one that means a lot to me because I used to be in the dissident political sphere, if you will. I don't talk all about it because I just don't feel like it, honestly. And I'm thinking about maybe making some videos talking about my time in the dissident political sphere is what I'm just gonna call it. Some of the people I met, some of the things that happened, and just where I was on certain days, and how I reacted and how other people reacted to certain things that happened. So I'm thinking about maybe doing something like that, but we'll see what happens. Where we go one, we go all, says Whoa WH. Exactly. Patriots are in control. I gotta oh, Cherry Blossom. It's good to see you're here because you know what? I didn't think I was going to be streaming on Twitch because I think the name of this, I forget exactly. Yes, Wednesday Chillin E-thot edition. I hit start on the stream. I hit go live, and it showed a red X on Twitch, and the reason it gave is that there was a banned word in the name, in the title of the stream. So I thought that was interesting. But apparently Cherry Blossom is here on Twitch, so thank you very much for tuning in as usual. I'm gonna be right back. I have to turn the AC down. I gotta my AC, I don't believe, is actually running. I think it's probably like, on that threshold where it's like, oh no, it's that whatever. So I gotta turn it down. I'll be right there. Ah, fuck. I don't even think the AC is running. Let's do it. I don't know. Whatever that. Love you. Don't worry, I'm on my way back. On my way back. Oh, I'm back. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Thotiana, says Zachary Vered. But yeah. It feels good to be doing current events or like news based stuff again because it's easier stuff to do. That's been my issue this entire year, is that I have not had the time or the energy to be doing a ton of it, a ton of different videos. Like there's videos that I wanted to do that I just could not do, and it feels good to be able to do something, particularly for the the what's it called? The Patreon, the Patreon. So that's good, but it's kind of difficult because the thing is like you don't realize it, but it's almost a skill to be paying attention. It's almost a skill to actually give a shit about what's going on in the news. You like if you don't know where to look and who to pay attention to and when, you're just gonna be lost. Like I could throw on like a Sargon video if I wanted, or like Jeremy from the Quartering. I could throw on a video from him, and he'll be talking about things in the way that tech bros talk about shit with like computers, or finance bros talk about like the new coin. It's almost like they're using this language that only they are aware of, or they understand. Um, they're using this language that only they really understand on that level, and you're just sitting here like, oh, what, huh, what, who the fuck is that guy, what is this thing they're talking about, what is going on. But it is interesting to be trying to get back into that, even though it's not good for the mental health, that's for sure. It's not good to be constantly paying attention to all the bad shit that's going on in the world, and there's always bad shit going on at that high level. There's never anything good. We've been infiltrated by Satanists, or maybe the people who um aspired, maybe the people who aspired to power were always Satanists in the first place, whether they realized it or not. Do you mean the compressor isn't running anymore and it's just the fan? Because I had the same thought at the same time. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. All I know is it is hot in here and I don't want to get a headache. I took a shower before this. You know what I hate is when you take a shower. When you take a shower, you get out, you're already sweating when you get out of the shower. And then, like, because of that, you get a headache or something like that. That's the type of shit that's been happening to me. Is like, I'll come home after working out. I worked out a little bit today. I'll come home after I work out and I'll mostly be fine. But then, like, I'll take a shower. And when I get out of the shower, I sit down and I just, like, my body heats up. My body is just hot. I have a hot body, guys. And because of that, I sweat to the point where my head starts to hurt. And it's like, dude, what the fuck, man? That's so fucking stupid. That's so stupid. That's so annoying. Um, oh man, what else? I feel like there was other shit that I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, I'm considering. I'm considering. Sorry, I'm just checking something really quickly. All right, we're good. I was considering having a competition, a bit of a contest, if you will. I'm still considering whether or not I'm going to do it. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Regardless, I am considering having a. That was a weird noise. I just heard what sounded like a mechanical noise occurring outside of my room. I don't know what the hell that was, but if it happens again, I'm gonna check it out. Anyway, I was considering having a competition, right? So if there's one thing I have become aware of when it comes to my online presence, is that a lot of people like to do edits of me. They like to make edits of me in weird places and all this other shit. During season 2, when I was paying attention to the 4chan threads, I noticed some of the edits of me, like when I was rounding the corner in my gi. I was rounding the corner in my gi, and it was in the season 2 house. It was in a hallway. People took that and they fucked around with it. They put me in the town meeting for Cumberland, Rhode Island, for the season 2 situation and stuff like that. I remember that, and I feel like that probably was the genesis of a bunch of people doing a bunch of things with my likeness, and I find pretty much all of it funny. It's really fun to see. It's funny. Um, and I appreciate those things. And something I'm thinking of is having a competition where, say, like, um, post Scott to 4chan competition. That's what it should be. That's what it should be. But um, what I was saying is, I'm thinking of having a competition based around like the most creative or the funniest edit. And whoever wins will get like $100 or something like that, whether it's in cash or if it's in a gift card or something like that. I'm thinking of running something like that just because it's fun. It's a good way to see new stuff. It's a good way to give back to the people that are, spreading my image out there and stuff like that. Because like here's the thing, I do this for fun. When I first started my channel, yeah, I had dollar signs and stars in my eyes, just like everybody does when they start a YouTube channel. And as time went on, I kind of realized that, like, yeah, sure, there would be a path to being able to make money off of YouTube, but I don't know if I have the time or the energy for that. It's a little bit difficult to be filming videos in the way someone like Brandon Buckingham or even like Tommy G does, when I have to be at the gym every day at like 5 or 6 p.m., you know? So eventually I just kind of was like, all right, well, you know what, fuck it, let's just have a little bit of fun. And that's part of the reason why I do some of the content that I do now, and that's part of the reason why I put so much into streaming, is because I have more fun with streaming. I have more fun talking to you guys. Joe Buttslasher asks if he's an e-thot. I think if you have to ask that question, there's the answer. You know, I think you already know. If you have to ask, I think you already know. Um, but yeah, like the big thing though that I'm absolutely like it makes me so happy. It makes me laugh whenever I see it. Is the edits and the pictures and fan art that people will make of me sometimes. I like all of it, and I appreciate it. And this is kind of a way for me to be like, hey, I appreciate you for making that stuff. You know, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say, if it makes sense what I'm trying to say. Um, but yeah, yeah, I got a filling recently, and I'm still trying to like, I'm still adjusting. You know, so when I drink water or like anything that's like cold or anything like that, my tooth hurts, and it's like, or like I was eating pizza on a Sunday, and I bite into the pizza, and even that was making my tooth hurt, and it was like, fuck, you know, it's one of the teeth that you bite with too, like when you take a bite out of food. But yeah, I don't have anything huge planned for tonight. I'm just, chilling because it is a Wednesday and we do Wednesday streams and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to stream with Arie soon. Somebody just texted me. I want to make sure it's nothing too crazy. Uh, okay. Anyway, I don't have anything too crazy planned for today. I don't have anything crazy planned for Friday either, but I'm trying to coordinate with Arie right now as to where he and I can collab in some way, shape, or form. It'll probably just be us like hanging out on stream together or something like that. And I'm excited for that because I haven't talked to Arie in earnest in a long time. Now, like, I don't want to be clingy or pushy or anything like that, so I'm kind of letting him do his thing. He's got an opportunity to work with a bunch of different people who um, I mean, it's not that I couldn't do stuff with Mizzy or anything like that. Like, Mizzy and I have talked, and she's talked about wanting to do stuff with me. But again, my life is I'm kind of tethered to one spot because of my role at the gym, you know? Um, and because of that, I can't like be collabing with all these people. But like someone like Arie, he doesn't have anything tethering him to where he lives, so of course he's gonna go out to like Las Vegas or wherever Mizzy lives. Of course he's gonna go out there. Of course he's gonna go to this place and then that place and then this place and then that place right after. So I'm just I'm trying to give him his space and just catch up with him at the same time. What's the action, big guy? Just chilling, man. Just chilling, Bonjour Skeet. Hope you're doing well today. Um, but yeah, so we'll probably chill for a minute or two. Oh yeah, there was one thing. There was one thing I wanted to talk about. I was gonna do a video on this, and depending on how well I do speaking about this, I'll just cut it out of the thing, out of the stuff, out of the Sorry, I'm trying to find it. I'll just cut it out of the. Jeez, excuse me. Depending on yes, here it is, here it is, here it is. So depending on how well I do on this, I'll just cut it out of the stream release it as his own video. How do you feel about Frank slapping around Bert on stream the other night? I didn't see that. I haven't spent too much time on the fish tank site. I wouldn't mind streaming there, but I'm probably not too high a priority for somebody to stream on there, and I think they only have 4 slots available. But like other than that, I'm really not interested in watching like Bert or Rachel or anything like that. If I'm just being completely totally honest. I mean, I'm even it's like the degeneracy sells because people want to laugh at the sideshow and stuff like that, and that's sort of unfortunate for Bert and Rachel and stuff like that. Um, and like I'm not saying that to like denigrate them or anything like that, but like I think they're aware of what sells for their own little thing when it comes to the TTS and stuff like that, because I think people are getting a cut of the TTS again. um but it's like I'm just not interested in seeing Bert's dick. All right, I'm all set with that. I'm not interested in seeing Rachel talk all about how her pussy's tight and stuff like that. I'm sure it's so tight you can't even fucking slip a butter knife in between. I'm sure. I'm sure it is. I don't need to hear about it though. I don't fucking need to hear about it. I don't want to see it. So I'm not exactly hanging out on the fish tank site. I popped in for a minute when I heard Arie was live on the site, and I was like, "Oh, cool. Let's see what he's doing on there." And he was watching cartoons. Um, but other than that, like I'm not paying attention to that. I'm sure Bert's a nice guy. I'm sure Rachel's a nice woman, but I'm all set on the degeneracy thing on that level. We're all degenerates. We're all degenerates, right? Don't get me wrong. But again, I don't need to see Bert's dick. I don't need to hear about Rachel talking about how she likes to fuck. I'm all set. Um, haven't touched a fish tank site since Bitch Tank. I mean, season three was okay. Season three could have been the best season, but it just kind of fell off. And it fell off before the RV arc, and you could probably credit that on some level to the issues that they were dealing with, right? Season 4, I was 100% sure was going to be the best season that they've ever had. Like I was 100% sure. I almost was not going to watch season 4 just because I was, for one thing, more focused on Blood Games, but then in addition to that, I wanted to create the illusion of there being more distance between me and the project as there was. I was lying to people. Like I was a part of Blood Games from pretty much day one. I was one of the writers and stuff like that. I can't like not single-handedly, but like there are some things in the script that I can point to and be like, yeah, that was my idea and we worked with that. And then there's other things that like it was someone else's idea, but I helped them to develop it. I didn't even do that much compared to like Xavier or Soda Man or anything like that. But like I still did enough as to where I can be proud. Um, but like what I'm saying is I was lying to people from day one that I had not talked to Jet or Sam or anybody about anything at all for a long ass time. Meanwhile, I'm like going down to the season 3 house to like do stuff IRL every now and again and stuff like that. We were in the middle of rehearsals. We were doing rehearsals by the time season 4 fell apart. In fact, the day season 4 fell apart, we had a rehearsal. I was literally there. We were doing vampire training for some of the new people. And then like I go home and I whip out my phone once I get home and they're talking to they're fucking telling people, hey, we're in trouble. That sucked. But yeah, like the bottom line of what I'm saying is season 4 was on track to be the best season. It was on track to be better than anything. And I'm almost a little bit jealous because of my involvement in season 2, where it's like season 2 in my opinion is still the best season. And not just because I was involved in it, but because there were so many little things that in my opinion make it a better season. But like season 4 was, man, it was really good. Really, really fucking good. Which ideas were yours that made it in the final cut? Well, the thing is, there wasn't a final cut what's going on, Bootlicker? What's going on, Abby Blackbird? A bunch of new people in the chat right now. But what was I going to say? We didn't have like a finalized script yet or anything like that. We didn't have anything like 1,000,000% set in stone, but there were some things that were set in stone, you know. And I'm not going to give you too much detail on that because um, I would like to believe Blood Games 2 is going to happen. It's just going to be, you know, in a different place, different map. We would probably set it up pretty much the exact same way that we were originally planning to, but like I said, the map's going to be different. You know, we would have to set up a different shitty, we would have to set up a different arena, a different wildlands, a different downs, you know, all these other things and stuff like that. But fucking what tight tank is getting claustrophobic in here? That's exactly, yes, Bonjour Skeet. That's what it is. I'm just claustrophobic. I'm just claustrophobic. That's why I don't like her talking about how tight it is. Um, they're talking season 5 already on X, kind of crazy. Well, yeah, they're gonna have to have a quicker turnaround, you know. They're gonna have to try their best to salvage because that's the thing is like this is still very early on in Fish Tank's run, I guess you could say. So anything that goes wrong is not just gonna be like oh, just, you know, shake it off and move forward. I mean, that's what you have to do, but like it's gonna be something like huge like that. You know, you're gonna be in a you're gonna be sorry, I'm checking something here, but my Twitter is being annoying. Sometimes you get a message and you're just like, oh, I should check this out. Like, I don't know why. I feel a need to check this right now. It wasn't even anything, but um yeah, you know. Overall, like, I'm hoping that Blood Games 2 will still happen. I'm more than happy to be involved in it. I know everybody is more than happy to be involved in it. It's gonna suck because like part of what was gonna make Blood Games 2 a lot better was the fact that we had a lot more time to just prepare insofar as like how to make the world feel more lived in and how to have people doing things and stuff like that we're going to help push the story along or just make it more interesting, you know. There wasn't going to be as much hanging around in shitty when you're an NPC that doesn't have anything to do, you know. um and other stuff like that. Like I said, I don't want to give too much away because it's not really, you know, like I don't think it's a good thing to be talking about that a ton. But what made that possible, what I was saying, is the fact that there was still a lot of stuff from Shitty that was built. You know, the whole arena was built. The whole whatever it's called, base camp was still up. You know, you had like we didn't have to focus on like as many little details. We just had to throw up some extra buildings, and then there was some other stuff like that. You know. Um, I haven't watched Fish Tank since they ended season 4. Just been recommended clips from Nico. I happened to watch one with Ricky Berwick, Letty, Bert, and Frank, and was really disturbed by the stream. Was Ricky Berwick on? Was Ricky Berwick on Bert's stream? Um, Blood Games 2 should have Rachel as the main villain. I don't know. Maybe we should hit her up. You know. Maybe we should hit her up. You know. I'm always in the Twitch stream. YouTube sucks, but so does Twitch. Yeah, everything sucks. Everything sucks, bro. It all is terrible. It's all terrible, is what it is. There it is. Okay, I forgot. I forgot to. I forgot. I was gonna take a look at this shit real quick. Fucking. I was gonna take a look at this shit real quick. Um, oh boy. Wouldn't it make sense to buy property in like a swamp or something and just build a house for the tank? Hey, I don't know, man. You know, I mean, the thing is, you know, I'll go back here until I'm ready to go. But the thing is, like, in New England, and I know they said like Nevada, Texas, and all this other stuff, but there's no way they'd be able to take it that far. There's no way they'd be able to take it that far. It's just it's just not going to happen. You know, but like the issue with the idea of building a house is that land and real estate is so expensive that it's like you couldn't do that up here. You know, you'd have to buy a house in it like I don't want to talk too much about it because I don't know what they have in mind. You know, I'm out of the loop when it comes to that kind of thing. I'm not even 100% in the loop as to what's happening with blood games from day to day. Back when it was happening, it was more that like, you know, other people were handling that and then they'd update me as needed. And then like when I would get down there, I'd help out and stuff like that. But they have options. It sucks what happened, the way it happened, and everything like that. But you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Nah, Ricky tuned into the stream via Bert's Discord server. Bert has a Discord server. I don't know if I want to be a part of that one. I don't know if I want to be a part of that one. Does New Hampshire have a ton of libertarian? I'm sure you meant anarchist city councils from free staters. Um, yeah, yeah, but it's not as great as you might think. You know, it's not as great as you might think. There's a lot of Massachusetts assholes moving up there, and it's getting more expensive, and people are more up your ass and stuff like that. You know, itchy, dude. I've been itching all over my body, and I think it's probably got something to do with some kind of like sun poisoning or something like that. Because I forgot to wear sunscreen. Forgot to wear sunblock on whatever it's called on Saturday. Duh. I was in the sun for a few hours and I forgot to wear sunscreen, which is really annoying, you know. And because of that, I got like some fucked up sunburns. And even in the spots that I don't have sunburns, I've been like breaking out in a rash, and I've just been itching like a motherfucker, you know. Scott has bed bugs. Amazing. I've had bed bugs once. I was living in a rooming house, and this one guy brought bed bugs into the house, and they spread everywhere, and they fucking suck, dude. And exterminators. I don't trust exterminators because they all end up like fucking Dale Gribble guys, but like with bad attitudes. You know, they're not even fun to be around. They're just like they fucking hate their lives, hate their jobs, which I probably would too if I had to kill bugs all day. But um, like the exterminator didn't help. He just sprayed poison on the bed, and it would not work. I'd still be dealing with bed bugs and stuff like that. So what I had to do, because I had a bed frame, you know, I had a bed frame that it's not like an IKEA bed frame or anything like that where it's just like a slat that is like on the ground. It had legs on it. So what I had to do to rid myself of the bed bugs is I had to take soup cans and I had to take the bed frame, the legs specifically, put them inside the soup cans and then put them on the ground. And then at that point, I would vacuum my bed and I'd just wait. Like any bed bugs that I saw on my bed, I'd kill them. I'd make sure that like nothing was like allowing the bed bugs to get up on the bed. I wouldn't let my blanket like hang off and hit the ground or anything like that, and it worked. You know, I had to do research. It's like I forget what the proportion is, but like 70% of the bed bug infestation, I think, if I remember correctly, it was 70% is in the bed. If not, it's 70% is outside the bed. But I'm pretty sure it was in the bed. The other 30% is outside the bed, and they will hide in some really creative places. You'll have like something like this, right? You'll have a picture frame hanging, and they'll hide underneath the picture frame. They'll hide behind the picture frame, and then when you go to bed, they'll come out. They'll hop on the bed, and they'll bite you. you know, and then they'll go back and they'll hide on the picture frame or wherever the hell they can. You know, it's like they're actually kind of smart, and it's really weird, you know. Exterminators are just felons who can't get hired in plumbing or HVAC. That makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, you know, Bootlicker 14. That does make sense. Indeed, indeed. Sorry, I'm just looking around here. Trying to see if I missed anything. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I think I'm okay. I think I'm okay. Um, Scott, you bigot, you don't care about biodiversity. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. I'm a bedroom Nazi. That's what I am. Um, you just need to spray the bottom of your bed frame and nuke your mattress. Well, I mean, at that time, I didn't. Well, it's like I said. I do like this quote unquote professional is coming in, and he is like spraying my bed with chemicals. So there's now chemicals on my bed. I don't care that apparently they're non-toxic to humans. I don't even take Tylenol, dude. Like, you think I want bed bug poison on my bed that I have to sleep in now? Fuck no, of course not. You know? Um, I'd rather not have to do something like that. But then in addition to that, this guy is doing it anyway and it's not working. It sucks. It's not working at all. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? Are you fucking kidding me? You know? But yeah, I mean, hey, I got it figured out, you know. But like, there's so many problems out there that are so easy to fix. That like you just have to do a little bit of research for, you know. Like, I got a hole right here. I got a hole in my shirt. Looks like a couple of other holes too, maybe right here. Interesting. But um, there's so many problems out there that if you just like exercise the if you just exercise like um if you just study up a little bit here and there, if you just study up a little bit here and there, there's so many problems that you can fix on your own, you know. And yeah, sometimes you have to get a little creative, but you don't need all these fucking people. It's just stupid as hell, you know. Pull up some bed bug infestation videos. I don't even want to. I got PTSD. Powerful agents to the uninitiated, but bed bugs are initiated. Indeed, indeed. All right, I wanna take a look at this real quick. I want to take a look at this. All right, so um, I saw this last night from Spinning Back Fist. All right. This is apparently 18-0 PFL champion Timur Kizriv. Kizriv, I don't know how you say his name. Was shot 5 times in Dagestan. His life is not in danger, but remains under medical care. And that is pretty crazy to get shot 5 times, but your life is not actually in danger. I wanted to take a look at this, right? And we're going to look at it, and then I'm going to make my point, okay? So this is him right here before it even starts, this little guy right here. Here he is grabbing whatever he's grabbing. And right there. So yeah, that's pretty crazy. 50 Cent took 9 shots. Exactly. Exactly. That's because 50 Cent's a real one. But I wanted to make this video. I wanted to show you guys this because it's a great example of what I talk about every now and again when people talk about shooting and stuff like that. Like, oh, I don't need to learn how to fight. I'll just shoot. I feel like you're seeing a little bit less of that as time goes on, or maybe I'm just in kind of a sector of the internet where people don't tend to talk like that a ton. But every now and again, I do see it. You have somebody who, when you talk about the importance of unarmed training, they're like, why would I need to learn how to fight? I could just shoot somebody. And it's always the dumbest thing that you could ever possibly say without even getting into this. All you have when you have a gun is a binary solution. You're either going to kill somebody or you're not. If you don't kill somebody, it's usually because you didn't hit them the right way, right? But when you shoot somebody, your chances of killing them are very, very high. So you end up in a situation where you make everything into a life or death struggle. You can't stand up for yourself, because if you stand up for yourself, there's a chance this guy is going to take a swing at you. And then what? You don't learn how to fight. You didn't learn how to fight. You have purposefully tried your best to not have to learn what to do in that situation outside of pulling your gun and shooting somebody. You know, it's one of those things where a lot of people feel very insecure, and they have already poured a lot of time, money, and energy into one solution. So instead of being like, okay, I got this down, now why don't I go into another solution? Why don't I explore other solutions? That way I'm just more well-rounded, especially if I'm going to be Mr. Self-Defense expert, like a lot of these guys claim to be. A lot of gun guys think they're like tactical self-defense operator expert guys. It's what they think they are. Instead of doing that, they just try their best to debunk the idea of having unarmed training. And time and time again, you see examples of things like this, where dude, back turned, has no clue, anything is out of the ordinary. It's coming up. It's coming up. Don't you worry, it's coming up, and here we go. Look at how close this guy ended up. He shot from about here. That's probably between 5 and 10 feet away. I would like to believe he didn't miss. I'd like to believe he didn't miss. Then you have this dude over here as some kind of backup, some kind of support. I would not be too thrilled about the guy that came as backup pointing the gun towards me like that. That would probably piss me off if I was watching this back. I'd be like, dude, what the fuck were you doing? But, so there was one. And look at that. Now, I don't know if this guy decided he was going to throw a punch. It almost looks like he tried to throw a punch after that. Yeah, he shot, and then it looks like he tried to throw a punch, and this guy immediately takes him down. So this dude, whatever his name is, Timur was his name. He gets shot once, and he is still able to get the takedown on this guy. And he immediately starts trying to throw in some ground and pound here, but this dude ends up shooting again. And because of that, he has to get out of there. This isn't really going very well for these two right now. Like, they probably expected to run up and shoot this guy once, and then he would die, if not immediately, very soon after. But no, he's putting up a fight. And the reason why is because guns at a close range are not a guarantee. In fact, you are quite literally better off with a knife than a gun at close range. There's only so many ways you can effectively debilitate, but there's only so many ways you can effectively neutralize, to use cringe tactical stuff. There's only so many ways that you can effectively legitimately stop somebody in a situation like that with a gun from that range, and that's basically a shot to the head. And even then, stranger things have happened. People have survived that kind of thing. The reason why guns at a close range are not as effective is because many kinds of guns with many different kinds of ammunition that could be put in them, from that close range, they're not going to cause the kind of damage to the body that you would hope they would, because of the way that the velocity works and just the way that the bullet is thrown around works. What tends to happen a lot of the time from that close range is, since that bullet is traveling about as fast as it can travel out of the barrel of that gun, what's more likely to happen is that the bullet is just going to go straight through the person. Now, the reason why this does not have the effect that is intended a lot of the time is because if you want to stop somebody, you have to damage their organs in a severe way. And that means you want a bullet that's going to tumble around. So if somebody has this much body, right, this is where their body starts. You don't want a bullet, or this is where their body starts, let's say. You don't want a bullet that's just going to go, whoa. You want a bullet that's going to hit, and then it's going to tumble through the body, because it's going to be that much more damage done to the body. So actually, the further you are away with a gun up to a certain point, the more effective it's going to be. The closer you are to a certain point, it's actually not going to get you exactly what you wanted. And this is why we see people who they get shot by cops and they have knives, and the first one doesn't put them down. They need a mag dump into the guy, which that's not a reliable way to do things. You never want to mag dump if you don't have to. Gun guys are going to be gun guys. That's just the way that it is. But just because they want to ignore reality, it doesn't mean that this kind of thing doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen a lot. It tends to happen more frequently than you may realize, especially when you're in a situation where somebody is, where somebody is that close in the first place. Scott, when you got your black belt, did they teach you how to catch bullets with your hands? I had to catch them with my teeth. Actually, they taught me how to catch them with my teeth, and I was only allowed to have my black belt after I caught one with my two front teeth. You know, that's why I have the cavity that hurts. They said, oh, you got a cavity from that? I don't know if we can give you your black belt, but you know what? We'll see how you handle it over the next couple of weeks. Are they shooting tracers? I don't know if they're shooting tracers. I don't even know. I don't even know. I don't even know if that would have any kind of an effect if they were shooting tracers or anything like that. You know. This video is funnier if you imagine it's Habib and Makhachev shooting Merab after he beat Team Umar. Oh man, yeah, that is kind of funny. But yeah, it's just you have a lot of guys out there, right? And it's usually a certain kind of guy who they have this weird hobby. Self-defense ends up becoming their hobby. You have the same thing that happens in the unarmed combat world, where like self-defense becomes somebody's hobby, and usually that's when they end up getting into Krav Maga or like Kisai or Defense Lab or something like that. I've talked a little bit about Kisai and Defense Lab in the past. But if you're a gun guy and self-defense via guns is your hobby, you have a hammer, and all you have is a hammer, and you're going to try and convince everybody that every problem is a nail, when not every problem is a nail, you know? And it's just crazy to see that kind of thing, you know? I forget exactly what I said in the tweet that I sent, but I said, I've talked about it here and there, and typically gun guys will get salty, but guns aren't as effective at close range as you want to think. Ambushed and I never spell check, and his target and still got taken down. Boy, that was a tough one to read. If his friend wasn't there, he would be dead right now. And that's true. That's true, right? If this dude right here was not there, the other guy, the first guy who ran up on him, would probably be dead right now, because Timur would have gotten control of the situation. He would have gotten control of the gun. I would assume maybe the dude threw a punch because maybe it jammed after that first shot or two. That's what I would guess. That would be my best guess, right? Because why would you shoot once or twice and then immediately start trying to throw punches, right? That is a little bit weird. But even then, that's another great example of how guns are not the only thing you should be using to protect your life or your family or anything like that, because that kind of thing can and will happen. Mechanical failure is a very real aspect of anything that is man-made. It's just the way that it is, you know? But yeah, Tim Kennedy is like that. He never shuts up about what he'd do if someone threatened his family. Yeah, it's so stupid, you know? Like, and that's why, like, some people mistake me, some people mistake me for someone who wants to try and be tough or something like that, but, like, I'm not. What I'm doing when I talk about the mindset that you have to have in, like, a fist fight, or, like, any situation where somebody's trying to fuck with you out in this wide world that we live in. When I talk about that, I'm trying to educate you guys about the hate that you have to have in your heart in order to hurt somebody. Because you got to have a little bit of that in your heart, you know? You got to have hate in your heart to be able to look at somebody who is, like, trying to fuck with you and be like, nah, you're not going to fuck with me. I will beat the fuck out of you, you know? If you're soft, if you don't understand what that is like and what that entails and the way that you need to be in order to do something like that, then you're going to mistake that for like tough talk or something like that. But it's not. I'm not trying to talk tough. But someone like Tim Kennedy, someone like these guys who, you know, they either claim, whether it's true or not, they claim that they're like super green Ranger Navy berets and stuff like that. And then they talk about how, like, oh yeah, if somebody broke into my house, what I'd do is I'd reach for my bedside gun and I'd use it to shoot the lock on my safe, to grab my safe gun, and then I'd fucking kick in my own door and I'd slice the pie out. And once I saw him, I'd kill him. Move, shoot, communicate. I'd have to move, shoot, communicate. I'd slice the pie out of the door. I'd see him. I'd put 2 in him. I'd say clear, and then I'd put 2 more in him. Tango down, frag out. Like, that is tough talk. There's a difference between, hey, this is what you need to be able to protect yourself from like some like feral piece of shit because you live in an area where there's feral pieces of shit around. You live in the ghetto or something like that. There's a difference between talking about the mindset that is required to make sure that you are safe, that you get to actually go home with not just your physical being, but your spiritual and your mental being intact. And what is like power fantasy and gun guy fan fiction of the self, you know? Those are 2 different things. I don't go out thinking, well, if somebody messed with me, here's what I'd do. I'd hit them with a, yeah. I don't do that, but like that's the gun guy equivalent. That's like they do that, but with guns. Instead of somebody messed with me, I'd hit them with the, yeah. Like they do that, but with somebody messed with me. You know what I'd do? You know what I'd do? I'd tango down, clear, fucking, and it's like, shut up, you know, shut up and get out of here, fuck off. I can't stand those guys, you know. That's how you do it if you were a 5-star purple leopard. Exactly. I just couldn't understand because I didn't hang out on a rooftop killing people in Afghanistan. Fucking like something about gun guy shit as well that I can't stand is how unathletic it's become. You know, like war is an athletic pursuit. It is the ultimate athletic pursuit. You have to be in good shape. You have always had to be in good shape for it. And the movements, the kinetics of war, of battle, whether it's before people figured out you could pick up sticks and bash people over the head with them, or if it was when we were throwing spears at each other, when we started killing each other with swords, or if we have guns now, and we have to find the best position to try and kill each other with guns. Regardless of what it is, there was always a certain athleticism and coordination that was required that went beyond just going for a power walk. And if you see some of these gun guys, specifically like the civilian ex-military guys who are like, yeah, I teach people how to breach and clear their houses, and I teach people how to slice the pie across their living room sofa and stuff like that. There's a weird unathletic piece to it where it's like they're just walking. They're just walking, but they're like I'll see if I can figure it out. I'll see if I can find something for you, right? I see it every now and again, right? I see it every now and again, and I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it for you, but like, there's gotta be something, you know? There's gotta be something here. Oh, one sec. I'm curious about this video. I want to watch it later, so I'm. All right, cool. Anyway, what was I gonna? Oh yeah, clearing a house we'll say like alone, right? Clearing a house alone. Um, I don't know. I don't know if this is. I don't know if this is like going to be what I'm talking about. It might be. It might not be. You know. I'm just. I just. Hold on though. Hold on. Right. So. Like. Do you see? Like, okay, fine, this may just be the best way to do it. This may just be the only way to do it if you're sitting here alone, right? But there's just something about like just walking with your gun. Like it doesn't look right. This guy, I don't know what his whatever is, he could have just gotten back from wherever the hell the military is lately. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know what his qualifications are or anything like that. You know, whatever, bro. But like there's just something about watching this dude do this, and he's doing it, and he probably thinks he's the coolest fucking guy. I mean, look at this Warrior Poet Society. Fucking, and it's just like, man, you're lame. You're fucking lame, dude. This is the lamest shit. You're making war lame. You're making war suck, dude. It sucks now, you know. Um, I don't think war is something necessarily to aspire to, but what um I think what it all comes down to is that if there is going to be war, you are better off wanting to be as thorough and as good at it as possible. Um and there is a certain glory to be had from that. I guess you could say I'm trying to work I'm trying to work through something that I've thought about a lot, and that I've put a lot of thought into it, but I don't talk about it all the time. But like war is not something you should be like, yay, war about. Obviously not, right? But if there is going to be war, then it's better to have men who are like, all right, let's go and let's fuck people up because that's what we're going to do. Yay, war, you know? Again, kind of contradicting myself here. It's better to have that class of Viking berserker, or that knight, or that samurai, or that Gallo glass. That was kind of like an Irish knight, if you will. There's a little bit more to it than that. A little bit more to it than that. But it's better to have that warrior cast who is like, oh, it's wartime. Great, this is exactly what I'm built for. I feel that I'm part of that cast where like I've never felt really 100% comfortable doing anything other than fighting stuff, or something that is just like it's downstream from fighting, where it's like, okay, we don't have to fight each other. Why don't we settle this dispute with a game or something like that, right? Competition, if you will, competition. You know, and like seeing these guys though, it's like I don't want to be this. Look at him fucking on the bed. I don't want to be this. It's like, man, I'm set. No thanks. Itchy. All gonna be full on proxy wars soon. Crazy world coming. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. Smart moron says Scott trying to kill bed bugs. That's exactly what it was like. That's exactly what it was like. Fucking the police when they showed up to season 4. Exactly. Like stuff like that is all like, and that's the thing, is like it's never like a dude like this. How I clear rooms alone. You don't clear rooms alone. You don't do that. You've never been in that situation. It's never going to happen. I understand, like, you want to be ready for anything and stuff like that. I get it. Fine, whatever. It's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But it's still just like, fucking ridiculous on a certain level where it's like it's a hobby is all it is. This is just this is this guy's hobby. And I don't have a problem with hobbies. My hobby is dressing up in pajamas and choking other men. I know, it's ridiculous, but I like it. It's my hobby. It's also a way that I make money. I'm not going to hate this guy for having a hobby, and I'm not going to hate him for having a way to make money. What I'm going to hate is a strong word, dislike about him is the way that he's trying to make it into something that it's not. Again, warrior poet society. How I clear rooms alone, as if he's John Wick. He wants to be John Wick. He can't just have the hobby he has. He also has to be John Wick about it. And because of that, he is now walking around like this. Mind you, this shit is so easy. It is so easy to emulate. So fucking easy to emulate. Like, granted, with the cage shit, I was purposefully teaching semi wrong, where it's like if you emerge from cover, like there's better ways to do it. But even then, that's not the worst way to emerge from cover, the way that I was showing Taylor on Blood Games 1. But like, if you notice, the way I was moving around was exactly the way these guys move. And you can try to critique little things that don't matter about the way that I was moving. But the fact is, fucking, I was moving in a way that was comparable to this guy without ever having actually done what he does. I haven't cleared rooms alone a million times. It hasn't happened. I haven't had to do it. Hopefully I don't have to do it. But like, it's so easy to emulate this kind of thing. You don't even need to emulate it to be able to kill somebody with a gun in the first place. And again, these guys, they want to act like it makes them warrior poets. And it's just like, dude, come on, man, get out of here. Get the fuck out of here, you know? Wait, was that a video of Jews looking for pennies? I don't know. That might be the IDF. Might be the IDF. Yeah, these days you're gonna get clapped by a drone regardless of how good you are. Well, I don't even think that's fair necessarily. You know, if everyone was getting clapped by drones like that, I think the war in Ukraine would be over by now. But that's the thing is like, and we're gonna see lessons learned from the war in Ukraine utilized for World War III. Ukraine Russia is literally World War III prototype. And we're gonna like literally when World War III does kick off, probably sometime in the next 5 or so years. Although people have been saying 5 to 10 years for the last 20 years, but you get what I mean by that. Like, let's say World War III was to kick off in the next 5 to 10 years. We would be taking the lessons that we learned from Ukraine and implementing it so that we end up in what is essentially World War I Part 2. Where it's going to be trench warfare, and we're going to be battling it out for air superiority, both with like our air force or like navies or whatever, as well as with drones and stuff like that. But the bottom line of what I'm trying to say is like, I don't even think it's necessarily fair to be like, dude, fucking drones though. It's like, yeah, well, fucking that's what liberals say about like, well, what are you gonna do? Use your AR-15 on a tank? I feel like that's kind of the equivalent of saying that in a certain sense, in a certain sense. Scott, you should make a video of you clearing rooms using only your karate skills. Fucking like the thing is like, with the layout of my place, I'd probably be better with a knife than a gun because my place is not that small, but it's small enough. Like I don't even like there's certain parts of my place that it would be hard to even utilize something like this, whatever setup this guy has right there. I don't think there's ever going to be another world war, and I think you probably have good reason to feel that way, Zachary, but also I feel like somebody who thinks there's going to be a world war, which I kind of do think there will be. I think they also have a I think they also have a good reason to think that too. You know, proxy wars, just drones versus drones. Hey, your guess is as good as mine. You know, your guess is as good as mine. Um, I was I was online at the bank the other day, and I had to clear the whole building. Yeah. Oh man. Oh. Uh oh. Trying to move around and not knock my shit over. Wait, what? Hold on. Apparently, it was somebody's birthday. Ginger Rogers' birthday. I don't know who the hell that is. Man. But yeah, I wanted to talk about that. I don't really have a segue into another topic. I was probably just going to play some AoE or something like that. But yeah. Oh yeah, I should bada bing, bada boom. Christian says even with all the drones, it's still infantry taking and holding ground. Exactly, you know. You need like you're always gonna need somebody. You're always gonna need somebody to take and hold that ground. You're never gonna be able to just like park a drone there and then you got it. Um, you know, a drone can't clear a building in the way that a human can. A drone is not going to be able to deal with the populace in the way a human can. It just it is what it is. Like this conversation has been done to death because for the better part of a decade there has been an attack on gun ownership. There still is, but you know it's not the cause celeb in the way that it used to be. I can remember about 10 years ago, every other day it was like, we need to take guns away, we need to take guns away, ban guns, blah 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 blah. And I was gonna talk about that. Zachary Vera, the Boston Dynamics dog, starts running the field. Like, there's a piece of me. I mean, like, could there be cybernetic warfare in that way? I guess there could, but also I don't think that's something that should be explored. Now, um, oh, excuse me. Hmm. Does that mean that does that mean there won't be some guy who's full of hubris who won't be like, nah, we should definitely do it? But like, I feel like there's gonna be a little bit of apprehension in the same way that we could have lasers if we wanted to, but there's a little bit of apprehension because of one, cost effectiveness, but then two, in addition to that, there's a piece that's like, well, what if we send one of our guys out there with a fucking laser and it gets like taken by the enemy or something like that, you know? Um, that was my understanding of why. And when I say lasers, I don't mean like blasters from Star Wars or anything like that. But we do have laser technology that can like damage people and things, you know. And I think it's the cost effectiveness plus again that like aspect of like, well, what if the guy with the laser dies and now we're out a fucking $40 million piece of technology, and now the enemy has it too. You know, so I think it's like a little bit of that, but I think it's also that people might be like, okay, like like what if something goes haywire? What if we have a robot who is going to be the first man in the building when they have to clear the building, but that robot gets confused or there's some kind of malfunction or something like that and it starts shooting everyone and everything in its path, and it's a lot harder to take that robot down than it is to take a human down and stuff like that. There's so many variables to like think about in terms of that, and it's like it's I don't know. I mean, people can be pretty reckless. People don't give that much of a fuck, but also I don't think people give zero fucks. It's tough to see what the future is going to hold because we're definitely on the path where we will have robots that are able to move like humans and even better. Like a one for one like humanoid type robot that is like, no, I can move just like a human does and better. We are on that path for sure, and that'll probably be a reality in our lifetime. But the question is, will they actually utilize it for war? And will there be like ethical concerns Will there be concerns about, like, hey, what if something does happen and now I have this hunk of metal that views me as an enemy and I'm having a hard time taking it down? Meanwhile, it's made to move better than I can, so it's going to be a lot more precise in its movements. So the second I poke my head out of the cover to try and disable the thing, I end up getting nailed. Thank you very much for the 5, Joe Butt Slasher. I appreciate that. I have to check that out. Just give me one moment. I gotta go to the there we go. Nah, I'll do this one. That's crazy, flooding the battlefield with a bunch of robots. Yeah, it's almost like at what point does it even matter? Well, I mean, I'm saying this and then I'm gonna counteract what I'm saying basically, but sorry, I got to hit the tipping thing. Yes, here it is. Anyway, okay, that's pretty weird. Anyway, fuck, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I was saying, like, like, what would even be the point of war if you're just gonna do that kind of thing? But, like, the point of war would become economic at that point, where it's like, how many resources do you have? How many more of these can you field before you bankrupt your nation and things like that? That's what war would end up becoming. And that's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought. I don't know if it would be much less brutal because, oh, excuse me. Oh boy, you'll probably get to a point where, like, you have Holodomor level shit. You know. Okay. Anyway, so we have police ground shooting, 360-degree drill, mixed martial, MARSHAL arts. It's trademarked, so you guys better not think you can take that. This is oh man, this was 17 years ago, so it's gonna be absolutely fucking crazy. I mean, look at this shit, fucking nice wrist lock there on a guy who is not even fucking resisting. Anyway, hold on. I just noticed, what the hell is going on here? He's hold on. Let me move this out of the way. You see what I'm pointing at here? Dude's just sitting there. Looks like he's almost kind of like inspecting his firearm, and then there's this dude fucking bopping him. It looks that was just funny. Anyway, moving on. Warning: these force-on-force fights are conducted with mock tasers and backup guns under the watchful eyes of trained professionals. Don't try them at home. Gullah's Arrestling, Violent Encounter Survival Training, or VEST. But before we get to it, they love their acronyms. The only people who love acronyms more than the police are black people. It's funny how there's that overlap there, where they have acronyms. YOLO, you only live once. Dude, YOLO. And then there's VEST. There was another one that was called Lockup. It was like law officer, something something panoply. They were desperate for a word with P so that they could use the acronym Lockup, so they used panoply. Oh man. Oh man. Oh is, let's see that again. Like, this is not the worst thing I've ever seen. Like that's the thing, is that, like, I guess it's not bad to be, like, ready for if you get knocked down to be able to draw your gun and stuff like that. Like, there's actually times where being in this position is actually where you would rather be. Like, for instance, if somebody's charging at you with a knife, there's times where, in order to create an extra second for you to draw your gun and put shots on target, you can actually slap out in a certain sense. It's not the exact same slap out as you would do in, like, jujitsu or something like that. Like, if somebody was running at him and he was standing up, in order to give himself an extra second or so, he could fall back as he's drawing his gun and shoot from the ground. This is something that I haven't seen it done in a real situation, but in the drills that I've seen it, it does work. It does give you the time that you kind of want and need. But this is just like, it's just a little weird. Like, I don't believe it's a good thing to train for things that are probably not going to happen. And if you get knocked down in that situation and you dispatch whoever it was that knocked you down, or whatever, you should just get your ass back up. You know, this is an issue that I have with my jujitsu class right now, where my coach is very traditional in the way that he teaches his jujitsu. He is very much a guy who is like, okay, you want to pull guard, you want to pull guard. I don't mean that, like, he in the middle of a match is like, pull guard now. He's not like a butt scooter or anything like that, but the way he teaches the kids, he is very, very quick and very, very adamant about, hey, go to your guard, go to your guard, go to your guard. And because of that, you'll have situations where kids push whoever's on top of them off, and instead of getting up or diving to try and end up in the top position, they end up pulling a guard and waiting for the kid they just pushed off of them from that top position to re-enter into that top position. What I'm trying to say is, I think what this does is it will have that negative effect where, instead of thinking, how can I get up? How can I get up? How can I put myself in an offensive position? You're going to end up thinking, no, I should just stay in the defensive position, right? If I had to say something about this is not the worst thing I've ever seen. It's just really fucking weird. And I just don't like anything where it's like you're being told, no, you have to lay there forever and ever until the drill is over. If it makes sense what I'm trying to say, you know? This dude fantasizes about fighting everyone he meets. And again, that's like another piece of it, is that, like, these dudes, they like this dude is doing this drill, he's leaving there, he's going to, like, a convenience store or something to grab a candy bar after because he's so famished. He needs a Snickers or whatever. And he is looking at everybody in that store like, yeah, they don't realize what I just got done doing. They don't realize what I just got done doing. If anybody tries me, I'm gonna fall on my ass and I'm gonna shoot them from the ground, because that's what I was just practicing. Nobody better mess with me, you know. You better train for getting tickled until you fucking cry, Scott, because it will happen. I'm sure it will. I tried finding the gun drill where the guy does a 360 and looks around like a moron. If you find that, link it in the chat for sure. You know, my fucking chat won't go through. It's pissing me off. Fix your shit tard tube. Which chat, Bonjour? Yeah, are you trying to send a super chat, or are you trying to send a certain chat with certain words in it? Let me know what you're trying to send me, and maybe we can work on something else. You know, if you're trying to send me a link or something like that, or whatever, like, I'm sure we can do it through Twitter or something like that. Scott Sullivan MMA, you can deep dive on this channel. It's a gem. I was actually considering going to the website, but we'll go ahead. We'll take a look at the channel. A wrestling weapon retention against 2 attackers. A wrestling. Oh boy. groin attack takedown. I'm curious what this is. Wait. A wrestling mixed martial arts figting in ring with gun knife. All right, I'm curious. A wrestling international mixed martial arts. Duty belt, vest, sim gun, backup knife. It's a nice little outside trip. And what was that? What's going on? It's a nice takedown there. What is going on here? These guys look like they're barely fighting. I got to be honest with you. Like this doesn't look as much like they are fighting. This is probably something that was done in the middle of an actual promotion. There's probably boxing or MMA fights going on, and these guys were like, "Hey, why don't we mess around? Haha." That's why it's all like groin attacks, takedowns, the fucking Star Wars fucking long ago and far away thing. But then in addition to that, it's like I said, like these guys seem like they're not throwing punches, very light, almost like flowing, you know? Okay, so we got some punches, but again, nothing too crazy. Some really light knees. Like this is if this is like light sparring on a day where I get kind of annoyed with somebody, you know? Where it's like, okay, I don't want to pick it up on this guy, but also I want to let him know like, hey, I can hit you from here. You're not actually winning this. I'm just choosing not to touch you as much as I could, you know? What is, huh? What is this supposed to be? just just getting stabbed. Just getting stabbed repeatedly. Man, what the fuck was that? Clavocine, blood in, blood out. Oh boy. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep on looking. Go ahead and keep on looking. Yeah, some of them are promos, but there's freaky people in the other vids. I'm sure there are. I'm fucking sure there are. Is that Neil deGrasse Tyson? We got Neil deGrasse Tyson here. Okay, so a wrestling DT training group, shock knife wall training. So 17 years ago, that's 20. This is like 2008. 2000, wow, 2007. This is some early days YouTube shit. Where the hell did you find this? All right, let's go ahead. Gullah's a wrestling police street mixed martial arts with shock knife wall fighting number 3. Oh boy, okay. So I don't hate what's happening here, you know. Um, I don't. I love the he hits him with the behind the back, like he's fucking playing basketball, his trick shots and shit like that. Like when it comes to knife fighting, there like it's hard to say that there's a right or a wrong answer, but if you are fighting someone with a knife and you don't have a knife, one of the right answers, I guess you could say, is to make sure that you're trying your best to control the knife hand. The only guy who's done that successfully thus far has been fucking what's it called? I believe it was actually this guy in the second one that we saw. For some reason, Mr. Knife Guy, I don't know what the deal is. I don't know why. I don't know why they assume that Knife Guy is gonna give up his back every time. That's not what's gonna happen. Right now, Knife Guy is just kind of doing whatever the hell like this guy wants him to do, and it's a little weird, you know. So let's see here. There is you see what's happening here is Knife Guy is acting as though this dude has a knife as well when that's not the case. When somebody doesn't have a knife and somebody else, the attacker, does have the knife, that attacker is going to be aware of that and he's going to be as absolutely positively ferocious as he can be. You're not going to see him almost treat it like it's just sparring, you know, and be like, oh, I have to be very careful. I have to be very careful to make sure that I'm going to. Like you have a knife. Why are you gonna throw a kick like that? What's the point? You have a knife. Just fucking stab him with the knife. Grab him with the free hand and fucking stab him repeatedly until he's done. And when I say done, I mean dead. Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. I don't think this is actually the federal law enforcement. I think this guy is just a law enforcement fan, and because of that, he bought that shirt. Yeah, this is like some of the stuff you see is like, oh, there's actually sort of there's actually sort of some stuff in. Oh, what? Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Anyway, there is some stuff that's like, oh no, this is actually not the worst thing I've ever seen, but like a lot of it is just like weird, you know? A wrestling, Cross versus Stevens. Man, this guy really likes this guy really likes the clip art and the I mean look, it's 2007. It's 2007. We can't, you know, can't hate him too hard. A wrestling defensive tactics, train weekly or fight weekly. Oh, that's a nice slogan. That's a nice slogan there. I gotta say. Anyway, you should not be throwing kicks in a situation like that. There is zero reason to be throwing kicks like that. Uh, so I'm assuming this guy right here is the assailant, and then this guy right here is meant to be the law enforcement guy, and that's probably why we didn't see a ton of punching from this dude. Yeah, we saw like a couple of punches. A knee. If you're a cop, why would you draw your gun in that situation? This dude's unarmed. You don't like you're in the top position. Why would you draw your gun? Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, that's not the worst cop training that I've ever seen. I'll give it to that guy, right? There's definitely worse out there. And at the very least, those guys are actually training. They're actually like pressure testing, if you will, what they talk about they want to do. Some of it looks a little weird. In fact, some of it looks like it's just pointless and stupid. But at the very least, excuse me, at the very least, they're trying. So I'll give them credit for that. You know, I'll give them credit for that. Anyway, I'm gonna play a game of AoE, and then I'll probably get out of here after. It's kind of a slow stream today, if we're being honest. It is definitely a slow stream, and you know, I'm having a good time with it. It's not the worst stream I've ever had, but I'm just you know, I'm just gonna go ahead and there we go. You know, that logo was made for free by a family member who was getting his graphic design degree back in 2007. That's exactly what it was. It was at what's that like? I remember back then there were all these colleges and stuff like that. All these colleges were popping up, and none of them were like actually legit. You know. Uh, Is Sam Adams the drink of choice over there? Is that a myth? Nobody drinks Sam Adams. That shit sucks. That shit's terrible. You know. Like genuinely, it's one of the worst beers I've ever had. What is the worst stream you've ever had, Scott? Any stream you show up, Hi Ecuador. That's what it is. Any stream you show up is a bad stream. Nah, I mean, it's not like I pay close attention to when I have a bad stream or anything like that. I just kind of do my thing, you know. Just kind of do my thing, and I'll delete it after. There's been a couple of times where I've been like a little bit upset, like people getting on my nerves and stuff like that. I can remember that like once or twice. Happens every once in a great while where like somebody is just being annoying or like something annoying happens or I just hop on and I'm just like not in a good mood and because of that I kind of let that out a little bit and I'm like, oh, that was stupid. I should take this stream down or whatever, you know. Baja Candle says PBR. I think. Ooh, excuse me. Man, I think PBR is better than I think PBR is better than Sam Adams, but yeah, PBR is not that good. Jay Dyer, no. Which was your best stream? I don't know what my best stream is, but yeah, the Jay Dyer one wasn't a bad stream. I went like that's one of the things about the internet and you guys have to be very careful about that. You know, you have to be very careful where like sorry, trying to make sure that I get as much ground covered as possible. Like I'm trying to win this, so I'm about to like suck at trying to explain, but like one of the things you have to be very careful of when it comes to the way the internet operates is believing that everything has to be some kind of battle of the wits or like some kind of debate and stuff like that. I don't bother with debates, and that's because internet debates are pointless. Like what does anybody have to gain arguing about anything on the internet? It literally does not matter. And just because we're doing it over like Twitter or just because we're doing it over like video on YouTube or Twitch or wherever, just because it was like promoted as like a big debate, a meeting of the minds or something like that, that doesn't mean that it's not just two fucking guys arguing two guys who never would have known each other existed if it wasn't for the internet. It's literally no different from like being on Reddit and arguing with somebody else about like what the best cartoon is or something like that, you know? It's all the same. It's all the exact same, regardless of what kind of lipstick and jewels you want to try and put on that pig. It's all ugly, disgusting ways to use your time. So when somebody is not interested in that kind of thing, but they decide they're gonna make an appearance somewhere just to be like, yo, you suck. That's not the same as like a fucking some kind of like legit debate, you know? I'm never trying to be Mr. Intellectual. I'm never trying to be the guy who argues with people on the internet. That's not my thing, you know. Every now and again I get in a disagreement with somebody, okay, fine, whatever. I'll talk to them about that disagreement. But the idea that like I'm going to sit there on a stream and argue about logical fallacies with somebody is stupid. And a lot of people have deboot brain. They have debooting brain. They're always trying to deboot about everything. Just like some people have coon brain, where everything ends up becoming about sex. Where like I'll sit here and I'll talk to somebody, and I'm not interested in actually entertaining their stupid, like, not conversation, but standpoint. I just want to tell them, hey, you're wrong. Shut up and leave me alone. And because of that, I have to listen to some idiot be like, dude, what you need to do is you need to read this book and then try and debate him again. It's like, no, I fucking don't. I was never interested in a debate in the first place. This loser who has nothing better to do but to hang around on the internet arguing with people all day over things that either don't matter, or even if they do matter, what you have to say on them doesn't matter. Is fucking like I don't need to fucking sit here and waste my time with that guy in any meaningful way, you know? I don't need to win the debate. It doesn't matter. None of it fucking matters at all. And the belief that it all of a sudden does just shows how much of a fucking idiot you are for thinking that like, oh, well, actually no, you have to have serious conversations and debates with everybody. You have to waste your time talking to somebody you don't like to try and prove that your state of mind is correct. It's like, no, I don't think I will, actually. I think I'll probably just not do that, in fact. Two men who are extremely attracted to each other, sexually arguing. Yes. That might as well be what it is. Jay deleted the stream. Yeah, he deleted the stream, but he... Oh, damn it. I'm fucking up the game here. Nah, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go there. Actually, no. Silly me. Alright, I'm good there. Anyway, you see, he deleted the stream, but he had our section of the stream put up on a clip channel of his that I'm sure he probably owns. And he had some kind of weird search engine optimization shit placed on it so that when you type my username, when you type the name of my channel into when you type the name of my channel into YouTube, that was the first video that came up for like about 2 months, you know? That's not a coincidence. I know that's not a coincidence. I know that he definitely had that done on purpose, you know? And that's why every now and again I talk about him and I'm like, that guy's a fucking bitch, is because that's a bitch move, and I refuse to like I refuse to not spit. You know, I refuse to not be like, wow, that guy's a fucking piece of shit whenever I think about him. Because that's how little respect that I have for the guy, you know? Alright, and then here. Oh, yep, gotta get rid of that. And then here, and then there, and then here, and then there. I'm probably gonna lose this one, because I am not good on this map, but we shall see. We shall see what will happen. Let's go there, and then there, and then you know what, you can go there too. What DLC is that? This isn't a DLC, Joe Butt Slasher. No, you have to have Scott Brain to be in this chat. Exactly. You know. You see, people play this. People play maps like this. That's why I prefer arena or other enclosed maps, because people play maps like this and they just rush as quick as they can to feudal or castle so that they can raid you. You know, this guy's playing Franks. He is definitely 100% going to try and hit me with some sort of stupid shit. It's going to happen, you know, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about it because I'm just not that good at it. Excuse me. Rise of Nations, Mogs, AoE. I've never even heard of it, let alone played it. You know, I couldn't even tell you. What is... Oh, forgot about that. Come on. Yes. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Oh, yeah, and then I need one more of these as well. But yeah, like, as usual, when I play AoE and I try and explain, I can't do both of them well at the same time. I can only do both of them badly. So I'm probably not doing a good job of explaining my thoughts and my opinions on this subject, right? But overall, I think one of the worst things the internet did to the world is make people believe that in order to have a serious, or not even a like it's not even about serious versus unserious, but like in order to have a conversation about anything, you have to be able to defend your standpoint. There's no such thing as just like preference. There's no such thing as you know, having a standpoint and not being able to like see, here I am. One of the worst things the internet did to everybody, and particularly one era of the internet did this. Oh no, I need to send one of them here. I'm also going to go there. The internet did this specifically at one point. See, I feel like I should just quit because this is something I've felt for a long time about the internet and about everything. Am I gonna get it? Am I gonna get it? We got him. Oh, I'm gonna have to go here. Sorry, just give me a second. Just give me a second, damn it. Give me a second. You know what? I'm gonna head over here. Oh, damn it. Whatever. Just gotta go there. Oh. See, here we go. Here we fucking go. I'm gonna have to hope that they don't do that much damage. It's probably not going to happen that way. What is going on here? Oh, what the hell? What the hell? What in the hell? Oh, jeez. Come on, baby. What do we got here? Wow, not a whole lot. In fact, wow. Wow. That was great. At the very least, that didn't completely kill me, but it definitely did not do everything that I wanted it to. I don't watch stuff. I have a life. Exactly. Like that's kind of a good way to segue back into what I was trying to say. Is like one of the worst things the internet did. One of the absolute worst things the internet did was it made people believe that you, in order to have an opinion, you have to be ready and willing to fight for that opinion at any given time at a moment's notice. And it became about sophistry, right? More so than actually just living life and like having fun and doing whatever it is that you feel like you need to do. And that is a very frustrating thing because it puts you in a situation where you constantly have to fight losers who have nothing but time. I don't have the time or the energy to constantly be dealing with like having to justify why I believe it's better to jack off with your right hand instead of your left hand. I don't have the time or the energy to do that kind of thing, and unfortunately, there's a large group of people who, mainly because of the atheist versus Christian days, as well as the skeptic versus what's it called? The skeptic versus new wave feminist, SJW, whatever days and stuff like that, because of the times where that was kind of going on. You know what I should do, actually? We're going to go over here. Those days ruined everyone and they ruined everything because it put everybody in a situation where you can't just like anything anymore. And if you're not willing to sit on a live stream for multiple hours talking to somebody you don't even like that much, if you're not, okay, I see what this fucker's trying to do. I see what you're trying to do, bitch. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. All right, you know, I'm gonna shut up and I'll go ahead and I'll explain it after the fact. I'll explain after, you know. Um, oh yeah, duh, fuck. Yeah, we'll go here, I suppose. I don't know what else to do with it. Um, he's probably got something else that I have to be wary of, you know. All right, whatever, I'll go there. Bowl shows about gaslighting each other and throwing shit and piss while doing mini games. I would assume you're talking about Fish Tank, but hey, I don't know. Maybe you're talking about something else. All right, here we go. We will throw them down here. Oh, wait. Here. Whoop. Why the hell was he running over there? It's here that I needed him running around at. That's ridiculous. This guy's an idiot. This guy is an idiot, baby. All right, I need to send him over there after. 350 is what I need. Come on, baby. Damn it. All right, well, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is not going to work the way I want it to. I guarantee you. You know, it's just it's pretty much over for me. It's Jover. Um, Check out Stronghold Crusader. Excuse me. Is that another RTS game, sort of like this? You know, I'd rather just focus on what I can get right away. Come on, baby. Fuck, man. Whatever. I'm gonna send them over there. Hopefully, I can make this worth my while. You know. Hopefully, I can do something good with this. Want to see if I can't get that upgrade as well, ironclad, but I need a little bit more. Ah, yes, there it is. Perfect. All right. All right. So yeah, this dude's gonna fucking murk me and then some. You know, I'm not even focusing on Vills right now. I'm just trying to see if I can like pull a Hail Mary play. You know. All right. You guys get your asses over there. Oh. Well, would you look at that? Let me guess. He's gonna build a. He's about to build a. He's about to build a fucking castle over there, isn't he? I'm willing to bet that's his move. Yep, that's probably a castle right there. Yep. This might actually make it so. You see, these are what's gonna get me. These are what's gonna get me. So you know what I need? A couple of mangonels. All right, let's get our asses over there. Jeez, these things suck at killing villagers. This may not be over. Not saying it's yeah, you know what? I'd like to be able to hmm eh. Yeah, that's not the greatest. That's not the greatest. Ah, yeah, it ain't gonna work. Go, go, go. Boy, are you guys stupid. No, I ain't gonna be able to. Hmm. Oh, fuck you idiots. Ah, come on. Oh no, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I mean, I might be able to do something good here. We'll see, but there's a good chance that I won't be able to. Oh, come on. Got him. I mean, honestly, if I can just if I can keep this pressure on, I might not be terrible, but again, I'm still probably fucked on some level for the specific fact that yeah, no. Honestly, I've been wanting to make this point for a while, and this guy is definitely better at playing this map than I am. I mean, look at how he's set up versus me. It just I might have been able to to do something, you know, but if there's one thing I'm tired of, it's losing because I keep multitasking. Like that's been happening to me lately. I keep losing because I'm multitasking. Itchy. I should be I should be winning certain matches and I just don't because I'm like, oh, I wonder what's on Twitter. Da, 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 da. But anyway, yeah. So what I was trying to say for that whole thing is one of the biggest issues with the internet is that it turned every opinion into a battleground. You're not allowed to just like something anymore. If you like something, you now have to justify it for one reason or another, especially to these sophists like a Jay Dyer, like a Destiny, like this guy or a that guy or you know, a Vosh or whoever. They exist on all sides of the aisle. It's not just a Democrat, Republican, left wing, right wing thing. All sides have their debate bro, their main debate bro, and then the guys that want to ride their coattails, and then below them are the guys who simp for them. You know, um, and you were not meant to constantly have to defend yourself from some fucking guy who wants to know what qualifications you have to say that chocolate ice cream is the best ice cream and stuff like that, you know? Um, and you don't owe anyone anything to be sitting there like, oh, well, actually, this is why chocolate ice cream is the best kind, you know? And frankly, this is why. This is. Sorry, again, I'm itchy because of the fucking sun poisoning. But this is why fist fights were always superior to an ideological debate. This is why you would always. This is why you would always escalate to that if you couldn't figure out the way to the best or who was right and stuff like that. Because at the very least, with the fight, everybody has to shut up and put something on the line, as opposed to, again, what the internet has made opinions become, which is this weird Reddit tier pseudo intellectual. Well, actually, that's a no true Scotsman. And where did you go to college? You didn't go to college? Well, I went to college, so that means I actually know stuff. What qualifications do you have? I'm so butthurt, I'm gonna block you on Twitter, and then I'm gonna try and fuck with your SEO on YouTube. I'm going to go out of my way to try and fuck with your channel. We have a mutual friend here, and we're on the same side of this whole battle, but because you made me a little bit upset, I'm gonna be a fucking pussy to you. And again, that's why, like, every now and again, I do bring up Jay Dyer again, and I'm like, fuck that guy, is because that's exactly what happened, is he sat there and he tried to go, actually, the entire time that we spoke, and all of his fucking idiot sycophants where like, oh, dude, Scott, actually, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's like, I never claimed to even know what I was talking about in a way that would qualify me to be a master debater like he was. If anything, I was saying that it's pointless to even give a fuck in the first place, and you should shut your mouth because all you're doing is making it worse because nobody wants to listen to some fucking bitch, some fucking pussy with a dumbass look on your face, a dumbass everything, trying to be like, oh, well, actually, I converted 1,000 people. It's like, shut up, you know? And it goes for everybody. It's just real easy to talk about him because I've had personal interactions with him, you know, at the very least with the what's his face, the vegan gains thing. He hit me up out of nowhere and I was like, oh yeah, this guy's a joke. Vegan gains is a joke. Of course I'll debate him. Of course I'll hop on the stream for a couple hours and just have fun fucking around. Of course, that'd be so fun. He's an idiot, but he's a YouTube legend. It'll be fun to say that I was able to actually talk to this guy, you know? But if when you see a conversation between two people, your first thought is the logical fallacies. If when you see two people who are talking about something, and they're having a disagreement, if your first thought is always, well, who's making the better argument? It's completely and totally ridiculous, and you are a waste of space. You are the kind of person who makes the world worse. And it's not because, oh, logic and reasoning. Logic and reasoning. You see, I use my brain because I'm a rational, logical guy. It's not because of that. I don't have an issue with being rational and logical and all these other things. I have an issue with the commodification of that kind of behavior, with the sportification, the gamification of that kind of behavior, where you have people who, if the topic at hand was fucking touching children, if one guy was arguing about whether it was okay to touch children and the other guy was arguing that it's not okay to touch children, and you're gonna sit there like, oh well, you know, the guy who's arguing in favor of kid touching is actually making the better arguments. The guy who's arguing in against it, the guy who's saying it's actually a bad thing, well, he's using no true Scotsman and he's using ad hominem attacks, and he doesn't seem to have an actual good reason as to why we shouldn't touch children. So I'm gonna have to agree with the kid toucher this time. Like, you genuinely have people who are like that. That's how, like, fast and loose they play with their morals and with their convictions and things like that, you know. And again, that is a product of the internet. That's a product of the internet debate sphere, the internet politics sphere, is that everybody thinks that they can be a politician now, and everybody thinks that they are the master debater, you know. And it's like so fucking stupid. How would you fight a guy like Vegan Gains? I'd hit him with my meat. Oh, man. Fucking, I converted 1,000 people. What are you, Charlemagne the Great? Yeah, that's a very prideful thing of him to try and be like, well, I converted 1,000 people. It's like, oh yeah, just 1,000. You've been on the internet. You claim you've been on the internet for over a decade and you've only converted a couple thousand people. I've been on the internet for a couple of years now in the way that I am, and the amount of people who have hit me up like, hey, I want to try MMA is like fucking insane. It's probably on par and then some with like him trying to be like, I've been on the internet for over 10 years and I've converted a couple thousand people. It's like, if you're really that prolific, you would have did something more than that. It would have been hundreds of thousands. It would have been a million, you know. But again, I was not arguing with a person. I was arguing with a personality. I was arguing with an ego. I was arguing with pride and wrath is what I was arguing with. I was arguing with sin. I was taking a principled stance based around venerating Christ on Easter, and he was taking a sinful stance, an unrepentant, sinful stance. And I hope that he is able to realize the error of his ways and fix that. But anyway, fuck me, I'd love to see Scott debate Vosh. Shit would have me laughing for years. Dude, I'd love to debate Vosh. And when I say debate, you know what I mean by that. Fucking, just looking around here. But yeah, it is about time for me to get out of here. I would try MMA, but I'm too fat and eat cat a lot, so it wouldn't make sense for me to do it. I understand, Joe. But yeah, it's probably time for me to get out of here. All right, thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. I will be streaming on Friday. I'm gonna make an announcement about like if I do decide to do that. If I do decide to do that thing and that stuff. You know what I'm talking about. The competition, right? The edits competition. I will probably Dambe is fucking stupid, Baja Candle. Like Dambe is annoyingly stupid to watch. Like I don't ever want to watch Dambe. It's modern day Africans trying their best to grift fight sports is what Dambe is. I don't believe Dambe has ancient roots or anything like that. That's a load of shit. You know, I don't believe it for a half a second. But anyway, excuse me, geez. Yeah, I'll let everybody know if I'm gonna do that competition. I think it would be fun. It'd be nice to see what people can come up with. It'll probably be like a week-long thing, or maybe a little bit under a week. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. Thank you, everybody. All right, I will catch you later. Peace out.